All right, guys. So today, really quick, man, we are going to talk about the liquidity cycle and how that's going to help you. If you don't use liquidity in the markets, then you are missing out totally. It's very simple. You need liquidity because liquidity moves the markets. If you learn from Phantom, ICT, whoever, Smart Money Concepts, you understand that liquidity moves the market. And in today's video, we are talking about the liquidity cycle. And the liquidity cycle is something that I learned a while ago, and I've been studying it, and it works to a perfection. And it's very, very simple. So I'm going to break that down for you guys right now. And again, I'm just going through this video quick because I don't want to waste your time. I want to make sure I'm providing y'all with value, but most importantly, I do want to get you on the chart. So if you do find value in this video, just leave a comment below, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It will bless you, boy. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Let's get into it. So if we're looking at GBP USD, we see this big like sort of triangle kind of happening here, and it happens all the time, right? Very, very much. Well, I read the daily time frame no matter what, and if I was looking at the daily, I would say, hey, once I seen this black candle, I would say we're pretty much in our liquidity cycle. This is the next level we are going to. But how would I know that? Well, if we go back to our hour time frame, we want to look at this price action up here, and we want to see very simple things. We want to determine our high and our low. So on our daily time frame, this was our low, this is our high. Very simple, right? Because we want to catch those big moves, and we want to be able to, understand where we are as far as range. Because some people might say, hey, this is my low, this is my high. We get taken, we're fully bearish. No, this is our last true low on the daily. So if we break this level, then we might be bearish. So this is our low, this is our high. In that low and high, you have premium and discount levels. You have a low to high. Anything above this 50% is considered a premium. And you, until this high was made, you really wouldn't know, but you want to not continue to buy in the premium, right? Because you want to buy low, sell high. Very simple. So anything under this 50% are very beautiful levels to trade at. Well, how do we know we begin a liquidity cycle? How do we take counter trend trades through that liquidity cycle? I'm going to break that down later in the video, so make sure you stay for that. But we want to take a high like so, and then we want to wait for that low, or we want to wait for some type of bearish intention to happen. Once that bearish intention actually happens, we want to say, all right, I'm gonna look for a price to go to that 50% level so I can actually sell down there. So we break this level, but something important happened in these levels up here. We took a high, and then we immediately started making a bearish chain. So somebody like me might see this and say, hey, listen, buyers could not come down, and they couldn't make a new high. They're fighting. Price is fighting, right? I know a couple of things. We took a high and we are in a premium. We got this low down here that is a demand zone, but we are creating bearish structure within this high and this low right here, which is a bullish range. So after consolidation, we get, if you watch my videos, we get expansion. Well, am I going to bet on price expanding to the upside or the downside? I wouldn't know. So what I want to wait for is price to actually break this level. Once we break that first level, we are now entering our liquidity cycle. That liquidity cycle is an expansion, right? A market shift, and then we enter a complex pullback of some sort. And then we come to our extreme demand level, and then we continue that expansion, right? That's how that works. So we get our expansion, right, to the upside. We get our market shift, which happens here. This is not much of a complex pullback, not at all, but usually price will, most of the time price will do this, and then it might come back, it might test the highs and then make that sort of complex pullback. So that's what we are looking for. In this case, price broke that level. I now understand that I can target this demand zone or even these old lows over here because they are now liquidity. I can target this. I can target this one. I can target this one. These are relatively equal lows right here. So I can target those. And these are also relatively equal lows right here. And we also have a nice daily demand, which was a daily demand order block at the on the daily level. So now once we break that level, all I'm doing is playing the pullback. I'm waiting for price to show me a sign. Hey, we sweep a high, right? We take some lows. Once we take those lows, we come back. We see price playing around. We take a high. We take lows. We want to check time. We want to see what we tagged into. So we sweep these levels here. We got some levels here that are very important. The reason these levels are important, as you can see these wicks here, is because this was a demand level. Once price got to that level of demand, we had wicks fighting each other, right? We had buyers and sellers fighting. Eventually, sellers took control. You see the big push to the downside. We come back to that. We sweep some highs to the left, and then we immediately break this level. And when we break that level, we come back to this nice bearish order block. So once we come right to this bearish order block, we have a beautiful level that we can sell from very clean right here on this candle's high that happened around noon. And you could just protect this high or even go here. Again, we're playing the counter trend complex pullback now. So at any given point, price can go like this, then come take me out. That doesn't mean we're bullish. It could mean we're bullish, but we know what we're targeting. So in this case, instead of you sitting here like trying to target the floor or trying to get the most tight stop loss, give yourself some space. Understand that this is a nice supply demand flip right here. And then also that we swept liquidity. And once this move makes this, you don't know that this volume is going to come in the market, but eventually just target simple stuff like these lows, because you don't know. Price could just stop and go. And I'll show you an example of that. Or just target that demand level, and that's why we get that. And then as you can see, price is now consolidating, creating some type of range action, probably wipe off to actually make the move to the upside. Let's go look at another example of the liquidity cycle and how it will actually work. Again, what do we want? We want our expansion. We want our expansion, then we want that break of structure or a break of supply and demand. Once we get that, we would like to see another break, which we get, but now we are entering that complex pullback. As you can see, we get that complex pullback, and then price just stops. It likes something here. It doesn't need to go deeper into a discount, and then we end up making a new high. So when you are doing this on all time frames, you want those three things. You want to wait for that expansion or be in that expansion, right? So you can play the expansion move. Once we get that first break, now you know, hey, listen, we are probably perhaps going into a we got that market shift. Now we might be going into a complex pullback, and then we can continue to move once we feel price is actually making that move. There's no reason why price would have stopped here. I would have wanted price to come deeper into this discount. Of course, we come like very close to it, but not even quite. Like we're very above that discount. I don't like it at all. So I would probably have missed out on this once we took this high or these highs here. Maybe continue to see that move to the upside. But overall, you want to see that. And as you can see, we get that market shift. You got plenty of entries in here for counter trend trades. One, two, and then imagine if you tried to catch another one off this level or of some sort, you would eventually actually fail. But me being me, I would have took the extreme, understanding that all this is liquidity once we broke this level here, moving back to the upside, because it's the same exact thing on a smaller time frame of the liquidity cycle. We have our expansion, then we have this market shift right here. So now I'm waiting for a complex pullback to my extreme levels, and then you can actually take a sell here. If you were confident in that, you could take a nice little sell there, put it here wherever you want, and then you could just target this simple very low or target the 50% because you understand that price is should be moving down to the downside. In this case, you would have lost, right? If you target the 50% is around this level. As you can see, you could have went break even, took some profits off. And if we would have seen the push, we would have expected it to come pretty far down here. But that's just how it is. We don't predict the market. We just observe it and see how it works. So one more time, let's look at one more example, and then I'm gonna get you guys out of here. We get our expansion, right? In that expansion, there are so many entries, it's ridiculous, right? You could just enter the market and all this. Understanding, hey, we just hit this level here on the daily level, right? Because again, this was a market liquidity cycle here. We tapped into the 50%. We understand that we're making our way up. So now we can say, hey, we should be moving into that expansion. Don't know how high that expansion is going to go, but we pay attention to it. So we get our expansion to the upside all the way up here. Now, let's say, for example, let's zoom in here. We had a small liquidity cycle happen where price expanded. Then we got that first market structure break. Boom. We know that we are entering our liquidity cycle. We are now expecting a complex pullback. We immediately come to our extreme high. Very, very smooth, very risky sell. I would actually wait for another break, which we do get. So we get a high, then we get a break of this low. So very nice entry of some sort, like right there, and I would still protect this high, and then I would just target the low hanging fruit, which would be this low. And then again, as you see, price does go deeper into the discount of this level, and then we actually tag something to the left that price liked, which was a nice demand zone. So we just fulfilled that liquidity cycle, and then we started a new one when we actually shifted here. We get our re-expansion, and that's why we get price moving all the way up to the upside. And then now, once we continue to move to the upside, again, we want to see it. Our expansion, our market shift right here, these lows here, our market shift. Then we start to get a complex pullback. And we obviously got very extreme up here. Price loved that level to sell from, banks, whoever. And then we get this sort of complex pullback here. And then you see we just actually end up dumping off straight to that level. What you think happened from here? We get a beautiful market shift. Again, we start making new highs, we start breaking highs, and then we end up going back into that expansion to the upside. As you can see, we end up on our way up to this high right now. So understand that three things that you need for that liquidity cycle. You need three things: that expansion, however that expansion looks to you, it could look like this. Then you want that nice market shift, that break of supply or demand. Then you want to have some sort of a complex pullback of like this, of some sort. And then you want price to come to a level that it likes in supply and demand terms that we would like to utilize on the daily levels of some sort or so. And then we will actually expect that next level of expansion. So we have three key levels. We have that move, then we have our complex, we have our market shift, and then we have our complex pullback, and then re-expansion, and it goes on and on and on until we get a true market shift. And now we are in the complex pullback up here, and then we come up here and then continue lower, however you would look at that. Very complex, but very simple, guys. So go look on a 1 minute, go look on a 5 minute, go look on a 15 minute. You will see it every single where. And I hope this video helped you. If it did, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, show some love, man. I appreciate y'all. If you're new to the channel, love y'all, appreciate y'all. Share it with a friend.